name is Sheila Beck, and he's Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So this is a review of Tom King and Jorge Fornes, that's how you pronounce his name, Rorschach. Steve Stewart is on the cover. Not sure what he did. I guess I see when we look at it. We'll look at the the credits together. I'll find out what his job is. I thought Dave Stewart was the guy from the Eurythmics. Was he? I think he is actually. I don't think it's the same Dave Stewart. I think they're probably different people. Now, look, going into this, I haven't read much of Tom King's work, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to review this. Also, I love and adore Alan Moore's Watchmen. I love and adore Alan Moore. I hated the HBO Watchmen series, which this is a sequel, a prequel to. It's happening sometime in that same universe somehow, right? So that's going on, which is a strike against it. But anyway, I went into this not liking Tom King, right? I've read, as I said, his Sheriff of Babylon. That's the only book of his I read, which I liked, the setting and the realism of it, but I just felt kind of meandered. But it was before, the implosion of comics, so I didn't really see, I wasn't really red pill to it at the time, but I haven't read any of his other stuff. I know he's had epically failed runs on Batman, like there's Batman run, and I did more damage to the character, I think, than the cells of the character, the marketability of the character, than I think anybody has ever done beforehand. I think that's a fair description of what. And again, I didn't read it, don't know anything about it. So I went into this with a negative opinion of Tom King, especially after that whole thing with Jay Lee. He tried to cancel Jay Lee out of sheer abiding cowardice and terror, right? He tried to get. That whole thing was just bad. It was all very, very bad. He seems a very depressed, not happy guy. So anyway, I went into it with a negative attitude about him, and it's not a cheap comic book either. It's like $5.99 for 22 pages. I thought that was a bit outrageous, quite frankly. The artwork's fantastic. Jorge Fornes just knocks it out of the park. The artwork is really, really good, and that's really what I'm recommending this book on. It's listen, it's got a good first 2 or 3 pages, and it's got a nice cliffhanger at the last page, but everything in the middle, just didn't grab me at all. And I found, listen, before I just started trying to get into it. Before we get into the review, can I ask you guys, can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? Mostly hit that subscribe button. I'm about 1,800 subscribers. If I can get to 2,000 by the end of the year, that'd be wonderful. Thank you very much if you could do that for me. I am pathetically grateful, absolutely pathetically grateful. If you subscribe to the channel, of course, you can enter my weekly competitions. The prize this week is Doctor Who story, Robots of Death from 1976, I think. Terrible cover. This is an absolutely terrible cover. It comes with my own, I think, did I design this cover, or there was another fan designed them, and I just kept making all my DVDs with this cover. So it might have been him, it might have been me. I can't remember. I really can't remember who did this, but this is a far better cover, right? This is a far better cover. So you get that as well. But if you've never seen it, fantastic story. Absolutely fantastic story. Tom Baker, Louise Jameson, really, really, at their best. That's probably one of the best seasons of Doctor Who ever. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, and in the comments leave the hashtag Taron Capel. Taron Capel, go check the video notes. Has all the information that you need to enter. We're doing the prize draw. I guess it's going to be the 25th, Sunday 25th, when I'm on the TARDIS Zone, and we're doing a watch-along of Daleks in Manhattan. Ooh, I like the story. Nobody else does that. Very few people do. Well, there you go. Fine. So let's talk about this book, Rorschach. Right, let me turn it on. Boink. So listen, I have a much better appreciation for why Alan Moore is so grumpy. Nowadays, I have a much better appreciation. Not because of this book. I have a better appreciation because, things that I love, things that I absolutely adore, like Doctor Who, like Star Trek, like Star Wars, have been terrible. And I think they've been made to be terrible so they can work as platforms for I would call it an extremist ideological outlook. And, again, just drip with sheer hatred of, the normative audience that read comics, so or enjoy Doctor Who or Star Trek, so I've seen those things that I love be utterly debased by people who just don't understand them at all, in my estimation. So imagine how much worse it would be if you actually created it. If you actually created it and felt you had ownership of it. Like, if you created Doctor Who, right, and you felt you had some form of ownership over it, and then they go and make the Doctor Who they made for the last couple of years, which has been terrible. Absolutely. If you felt like you created Star Trek and you had ownership of it, can you imagine seeing the bastardization of it? It hurts me as, like, just a fan. Right? So I can imagine Alan Moore feeling that way about all these sequels and prequels to his work, which none of them are anywhere near the quality of his work. I think the best stuff would be before Watchmen. I like the J. Michael Straczynski stuff, and I like the Minuteman stuff. But again, these were normal comics. These weren't like lofty, high comics. And I can't even, like, I hope he hasn't watched the HBO series of the sequel, which is so frustrating because there's so much good stuff in there. The whole like Ozymandias on, where was it, Mars? Can't remember where he was. That was crazy. Loved that. They had one really good episode focusing on Miramasky, the guy who made the surrogate for Rorschach. But generally speaking, it was cram full with Hollywood insanity, where they truly believe that people don't like other people because they got black skin. They really think that is a thing that's going on. No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not. That's not happening at all. So yeah, that whole world is just completely tainted by just bonkers insanity. So that's the world that this Rorschach is set into. But I have to tell you, again, it's the artwork's fantastic. Artwork I really loved. Story not so much. So let's start looking at it. So we I mean, you get an idea you're in a prestige book because you have all this nice graphic design for the first few pages and stuff, and then you get an ad for one of the reasons that comic books have imploded, right? Well, listen, I do not know anything about this this original. Is it a novel or graphic novel? Yeah, it must be illustrated by. I guess it's like a teen book. What they called again? YA comic books. Swamp Thing. Twin branches, where, look, it's always the same with these things. And again, if I'm wrong, I apologize. But looking at this, it seems to be somebody who doesn't know much about comics wanted to make a fundamental change to a character to tell an ideologically driven story that that make up the entirety of YA stories, right? And I had a quick look at the artwork. Looks not very good. Looks not very good. Listen, who knows? I'm kind of intrigued to read a review of this, but like they're doing a lot of these right now. Gotham High, you found me an ocean, the Aqualad one. Anyway, so if you needed any more reminders of why comic books are in the toilet, they gave you a nice handy one here with this ad. So we start off, and you see again, artwork's really good, engaging first page. I love the way the lettering, the sound effects are incorporated into the storytelling. It really works. This page really works. Again, I've never seen Jorge, whatever his name is, work before. This is absolutely excellent. And again, you see Rorschach being shot. So, immediately your attention's grabbed, right? Because Rorschach is a character that died in 1986. Like, who is this? What's going on? Is he the Rorschach from Doomsday Clock, which I stopped reading after 3 or 4 issues? That was all, whoever it was, the guy who wrote it, just really wanted to show off that he's super clever, and he's really not. He's really not, which is a shame. Anyway, so we got this intriguing opening, and then, political analogy. Whenever I see political analogy, I'm all like, and it's vote Turley. Vote Turley. I think he's probably a surrogate for the current president, who they are all crazy about their end, not in a good way. They're completely insane. But again, great artwork, and we see there's some assassination attempt. Something's gone down. Something weird has gone down. Got my interest. 3 pages in, you got my interest. And it's basically here they lose it. Now they lost my interest. The artwork here it reminds me a lot of Dave Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One. And it works well. But so what then ensues is an investigation into this crime, and not much else. You get you basically vaguely sets up the character, but not at all. You don't know anything about this detective whatsoever. As he goes around and like very boringly interviews people involved in this. And so I didn't know how long this miniseries was. I thought maybe 4 issues. It's 12 issues. I mean, oh my God. 12 issues of what I think is reasonably boring fare. So, a problem I think that Tom King's got going here is he just assumes that by divine right you are going to read more of this comic, right? He is not working for your attention whatsoever. It's okay that it's serialized, that you have a story, you break into 12, it's okay. But you got to remember, each part, each episode, each issue needs to deliver for $5.99 needs to deliver a satisfying story. That means it's got to have a beginning, middle, and end. This does not have that. This does not have a beginning, middle, and end. And even, again, go look at the original Watchmen series. You'll see each individual chapter, each individual issue had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and told a story, and had characters in it. And because Alan Moore can write comics, he can draw out those characters in just a handful of panels. I think it was, 2 or 3 panels that we meet the detectives at the beginning of Watchmen. You know everything you need to know about them by the 3 or 4 pages in. And then, you've got a few pages focusing on all the people around Times Square. That's compelling. That's compelling storytelling because I'm interested in those characters, interested in those lives, and interested in what's going on. This is a boring story. I think it's the only way I'm talking about it. It's a boring story. What's it? Just give me a page view. So basically, we have this procedural plod. And I don't know why it looks like the 70s or the 80s. I mean, it's set in present day. And again, I don't know how it ties into the HBO series. It's set in 2021, right? So that was set a year before this, I guess. But again, really good artwork. But again, character development is just... I don't know anything about these characters, and I certainly don't care anything about these characters. So we get kind of boring interviews and a little bit of where we get to see who these dead people are a little bit, but not much. And it's obviously not the Rorschach. It's a fake Rorschach mask. And we get an idea. We're in that Watchmen universe. The HBO Max Watchmen universe, not the good one. I tell you, the episode with Mirror Mask, that, if you've got to watch one episode of TV from that, watch that and disregard everything else, because that was pretty darn good. So, it can't, I mean, you see it plod on as he talks to person, and they recount, and there's so many pages where you could have actually hooked me with an interesting story. Like, who are these people? Draw me into their lives. Why do I care? That's the thing. I don't care. I don't care about any of these characters or any of these situations, and it seems to be pretty obvious they're going to be doing like a presidential analogy. But again, great artwork. It's nice seeing Rorschach in, even though he's got a gun, which seems a bit weird, seems out of character. So fine. It's just I like the page grid. They talk a bit about pirate comics and like how because pirate comics in that world is the superhero comics and how they've been turned into movies. And then, you end with a relatively interesting cliffhanger, and you're on to that. But again, $5.99 for the beginning of a story. No, you have not given me any reason to return for the next issue other than it features Rorschach. And again, the mystery set up, not bad, but the characters set up are all, I don't know anything about them. They're all dull as ditch water. That which I do know. And you got this like really irritating political analogy. You are just waiting. You are just waiting to jump out at you. Robert Redford is the president in this universe, right? Robert Redford is the president, and they got this. Who's obviously a very liberal Democrat. So you got a right-wing candidate who's doing very well, who's running against him. So you got all that like cloying, annoying, ideological, political analogy waiting in the corners, waiting in the back, in the wings to come on and bludgeon you over the head. Basically, you just get a little slice of Tom King's miserable life. So, beautifully illustrated by somebody who just exceeds his talent by quite a staggering amount. This is not a recommend. This is not. I mean, listen, if you got $6 to burn, okay, I'll find. I guess it's better than just literally burning your money. I think it's better than literally journaling. Although I don't know. I mean, you could use this as toilet paper, I guess. But I guess it's probably very thin paper. It doesn't have, it's not going to be very absorbent. So yeah, that's basically where I am with it. I'm afraid not a recommend. An expensive board. First, I didn't find out what Dave Stewart does. Now let's have a quick look. Dave Stewart does the coloring. The coloring is I like, again, visually this whole thing freaking works. This whole thing works really well. I just wish there was a writer that cared, right? I wish there was a writer that cared about, the property, about the character, about the story, about you, the reader. I wish there was a character that cared and say, listen, the reader wants to be entertained. That's my job. That's the job of the writer, to make sure the reader's entertained. And I just wasn't. I found this a bit of a slog getting through because it was boring, and yet also too slight at the same time. It was boring and went on too long. It was boring, went on too long, and over too quickly. You say, that's not good. That is not good. That's not what you're aiming for a comic. So this is really why, I really kind of exclusively read Comics Gates comics now, because those comics are by people who A, love comics, and B, love you reading comics, and C, view it as a privilege, as a genuine privilege that you do read their comics, that, and that's why you get a much more compelling, a compelling read. Again, a wasted character, wasted art, wasted paper on this dull as ditchwater first couple of points. It's not even that. I think it's the first plot point in a longer story that I'm not interested in, and they've given me no reason to come back for the second issue. If you guys want me to review it, I will review it, but it's got to be, this video's got to do well. Okay, this video has to do well for me to review it. So definitely like, share, and subscribe. Do all those things, and I will do issue 2. I don't know if I'm going to get through the whole the whole 12 inches. It's really it's really dull. It's really very dull. My name is Sheila Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.